I know I know I'm asking you what's your priority in terms of your online reaching out your message, and you were saying you're more focusing on domestically.
Yep.
So then I'm going to ask you this question. When I chat with you, we say a lot of the issue in the United States basically attributed back to the Chinese Communist Party and their infiltration. What's your first reaction to my comments?
Well, I think that what happens in China is that's exactly what they're trying to do here to us. They're trying to control the types of information that we see, the things
Yes.
that we can say to one another, and they're trying to get their tentacles into all the different aspects of the American economy as well as American culture.
Yes.
So what has happened over there is almost like a roadmap for what we need to pay attention to and be aware of. And it's interesting what you were saying about how you guys are trying to sound the alarm to us and say, look what's happened there. Isn't this bad? Don't you see how they're already involved in all these aspects of your domestic issues?
Yeah.
This is what's coming next for you if you
That's
don't,
right.
if you're not aware of it.
That's so beautifully well said. Yes, that's why we're here by NFSC and talking to friends and American patriots to pay attention to this, right? So everything happened to us because I briefly introduced, our funder of the new federal state. It's how he has been attacked and persecuted by CCP in China, but here also in the United States because, everywhere the social media is censoring us. So as a media influencer, and you see more and more censoring happening on the social media, due to Americans. What do you think some of the solutions? How do people fight back?
Well, I think that the thing that I always tell people to do is to be not afraid to distribute the truth and to play the game in a way that will allow your message to get distributed. And look, I don't like the censorship, of course I don't, but I have to figure out a way to make sure that I stay in the town square, to make sure that I can still be there telling the truth. So a lot of people will fight it and say, I'm not gonna download TikTok because TikTok has all these influences in there and it's bad. It's like, well, if your voice isn't on TikTok, then their voice is on TikTok. That's the dominant voice that's there. So instead of being mad and rejecting it completely and letting their ideas run free and infiltrate the youth in such a pervasive way, we have to also be there and not be afraid to be in a place that we might not want to be in order to push the message forward. So I think it's really important that people go to where the people are and talk about things that matter and not be afraid of the blowback from it, because people will recognize you being real and honest, and they'll stick with you in the long term as long as you're not a liar.